me now then. Wow. Alright, so before you start the run for Wings of V and E% Mortal Purified, you're always going to want to make sure you have a save loaded on save 2, and the only thing you want on the save is to have V standing anywhere where she has double jump. If she has double jump, you're ready to go. And I'm fine, Solid. I'm fine, thanks. Okay, so aside from that, if you have that save file set up, you're then going to just be ready to go into save 1, make sure it's blank, go to mortal mode, make sure Purified is enabled, and then start the run. You should get that achievement at the bottom there, it says Purified. Alright, so all you're going to do is leave V's house, you're going to go talk to Ruby. Now this is where we would like to go over cutscenes. So whenever you get a cutscene in this game, you can, for the most part, press the skip button to get past it. So we can do that right now. And that'll just skip the cutscene. And now for this part of the game, all we're going to do is just walk and jump and do this really simple obstacle course. Alright, so again, for cutscenes, something that's important is you can skip the cutscene almost immediately when you first have the dialogue appear, but you don't want to skip it too early. If you skip it on the first frame when the cutscene happens, you'll get what's called a cutscene glitch, which will lock you inside of the dialogue until the animation and everything plays out. So what you want to do is skip the cutscenes, but the second frame. This part right here, just do this nice little jump. It's pretty easy to beat Ruby once you've played it a lot. But if you lose to Ruby fairly often when you're first learning the game, that's okay. What's up, Froyo? Okay. So here, I recommend you select this weapon, which is Greed, and then just keep moving. You don't want to stop here. Just keep moving and spam your weapon when enemies get close. Just try to copy this movement fairly closely. It's okay to take some damage here. It's okay to get beat up a little bit. You can jump right over that demon dog. Do a big jump, followed by a small jump there, and that'll keep that enemy, the conving, from reaching you. That fire guy right there that we just killed, sometimes he'll stay away from you, and if he's far away, just keep going. If he's close to you, commit to killing him, because it saves time and prevents him from messing up your run later. Again, do a big jump there, followed by a small one, and it'll set up the conving to give you a good damage boost right there. So, the thing is, you can't make this jump normally. You can't go high enough. Let's reset that and go over that again. So there, that time the fire guy was far away. So here, damage boost from that conving to make that jump. If you are not comfortable making the damage boost, just go up this way, fall down, and jump right there. It's not a big deal on time, but it's definitely something you want to do if you practice the game a little bit. Okay, for this portal coming up, the way the portals work is you'll want to just kill all the enemies that come out of it. And it's pretty hard to do if you're not comfortable with the game, but if you know the safe spots, you can just stand in this spot right here for the first two enemies. You can stand right here for this guy. You can keep standing in every single one of these places. And then for the fire guy, just chase him. Easy. So if you're uncomfortable playing more aggressively than that, just use those safe spots. It'll get you through it. Hey Ilias, hey Boo, how you guys doing? Okay, so the feather we just got from the Ear of the Angel allows us to use an ability called Flutter. What Flutter does is it lets you get some lift off the ground with your wings. But more than that, it also enhances your previous movement. So if you do a jump and then a flutter, you'll get significantly more lift than if you do a flutter into a jump. Flutter is also really useful, as we'll find out in this next screen, for horizontal movement. So if you flutter and then jump, it can get you a lot farther than jumping followed by a flutter. It's just like that. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Flutter and the way that it works with your movement matters a lot more later in the game, but early on it's just good to know a few basic things. Okay, so this screen right here is one of the more annoying ones. And you can play it in one of two ways. The way that I play it is I like to go... Oops, he got in my way that time. If he gets in your way, it's probably a good idea to just stop and kill him. Another way you can play it is just commit to killing him first. But let's see if I can get a good example of how to... Wow, he's being a jerk. Oops. But you can do something like that, where you can just walk past him. And then where he spawns after that can kind of mess you up a little bit. You want to kill that guy because he will get in your way as you head to the next save point. With a lot of practice, you'll kind of figure out ways that you can get around him if you get lucky without having to mess up your plans. But if he does get in your way at all, it's going to screw you up. So I would recommend, for the most part, unless you're worried about saving like 1 or 2 seconds, just kill that fire guy every single time. It just makes things easier. So either if you want to commit to killing him when you first leave the door over there, before you jump across this chasm, because if he stuns you while you jump across this, you will die. But if you kill him first, or if you can get past him without getting hit while you do this jump and flutter, then he won't be a problem. How you doing, Fiction? Okay, this next spot here, I recommend you select this weapon, Sloth. And what you can do is just drop under, flutter, jump, and use Sloth, and you'll one-shot both those enemies. It's pretty easy. Okay, for this spot right here, this is our little grabby hands encounter. And just the best thing to do is copy my movement exactly here. Oh shoot. It just gets you through with minimal wait time. Let's redo that though, because I kind of messed up. Okay, so again, as soon as this goes down, jump, jump, flutter, flutter, jump, flutter, jump, flutter, and then you can tank that last hit. And the reason why that's a good way to execute that section is because for the last pair of hands, you can just tank them, which lets you not slow down. Alright, so now just take this save, and then what we're going to do here is kind of another trick. The save points in this game, as you may have noticed, when you take a save, it kills all the enemies around you, and it restores your HP. What you're going to do here is, you notice I've only got 35% HP. The grabby hands, if I touch it right now, will kill me, because they do 50% of your health. But, if you take the save, then jump through him, you'll see that the save point keeps restoring my HP beyond what it normally would have if I just went to full health and then jumped through him. So, I got through the hand with a lot of HP left over. So now you're just going to do the simple stuff. You can take this heart. There's nothing shameful about taking that heart, even though we will jokingly refer to it as the Heart of Shame. Okay, so coming up, we've got another portal. And this portal, there's a cool trick we can do, where portals have a certain amount of HP, and every time you kill an enemy, it lowers that HP. But because it takes time for the portal to spawn enemies, it can be faster in this case to spawn enemies, start the portal, and then leave once it's spawned 2 enemies. So you spawn that first conving and that first fire guy. What I always recommend here is try to chase the fire guys and give them almost first priority, because they're the ones who can take your time the most. Okay, so right here, you can do one of 2 things. I don't recommend you usually fall down and dive to kill the enemy fire guys, but if you have to, if the portal's HP is low enough that you know you can kill the fire guy, you can jump all the way off, because you can actually fall down here and walk all the way to the right. So we're gonna head to the right here, quite a ways to reach the next boss. But you can end it either by walking down this ramp, or you can drop down and just go back the way that we originally came. So just so you know, there's 2 ways you can leave that room. So if you have to dive off to finish off one of the enemies, it's okay to do so. Just make sure you know that you can kill the portal. Alright, so here's Myogi, the easiest boss in the game. I recommend for this attack, you can just stand here with Greed and mash that so you don't take any damage. And then use Sloth. You want to use this weapon, Sloth, because it does 8 damage and will let you kill the boss in 3 hits. You guys are funny. Alright, so this feather just gave us the ability to slide. And sliding from here on is going to be how we do most of our vertical movement throughout the game. Okay, so this screen is one I want to talk about a little bit, because this entire area actually is going to be on one big, gigantic cycle. And it starts with this turret. These turrets do a good amount of damage to you. As they see, they'll 2-shot you. And we're just trying to get up above the turret. And the thing is, you can either wait and go underneath a shot and get above, and that's pretty easy. Or you can do this cool strat where you go as fast as you can from the door. If you have good, solid movement, you can do that and make it before the first shot would have reached you. However, there's now another way that's been discovered too. If you're uncomfortable doing that kind of movement, that movement right there is just as fast. Otherwise, if you're uncomfortable going for the fast cycle, just get up here and wait for a shot and go under and jump Flutter up. And that's okay too. So there's a few ways you can handle that screen. I recommend you go the fastest way that you feel comfortable doing, because it helps with keeping everything on cycle for the next few screens, but it's not too important. Okay, this screen here, just touch one platform at a time. Feel free to buy as much time as you want with jump and flutter until the eyeballs go away. However, you can do a cool thing. Oops. That wasn't the cool thing. You can do a cool thing here, where with a rhythm, you can get to where you can just damage boost from the eyes and hug the wall over here before you proceed to get up to this point. And it just saves a little bit of time. Okay, this save here, there's two ways to handle it. I don't recommend the first way, but there's a way that you can make that jump. If you slide off and then jump flutter, you can, with good luck, get all the way up there. I'm not going to waste too much time trying to go for it. It's pixel perfect, and it's also based on animation luck, so I don't recommend it. The other strat that's really good is just drop all the way here. You'll see that bullet, even though it's still on screen, doesn't actually hit you at this spot. So just hug this wall right here. And then as soon as that goes away, just slide, jump, flutter, tank that hit, and then flutter, jump up here. What's up, Moon? Another way to do it, if you don't want to take any damage. Well, you can do that, but it's just a little bit more precise. And I'm messing up. I recommend that's to be the easiest and most consistent way to do it. Just expect to take the hit. But you can do it like that too, with a flutter and a jump, and it will get you past the 2 turrets unscathed. But the first strat that I did there, I think is the best one to go for consistency's purpose. Just tank 1 hit and get past him. Hey Jasper, what's up? And then you'll just slide your way up this way. And this guy's a bit of a pain for timing, but once you get down, just remember you can always outrun the turret shots. So those won't hit you as long as you drop in front of them. Alright, so right here, just expect to always take that hit. If you reset there, you'll get that kind of luck. If you get here and take the save while you're moving past this enemy right here, then you'll get your HP to restore as you move, and so you can still get through the turret by taking an extra hit. But either way, either if you want to just keep moving, or if you want to reset at that save to reset the cycle, you'll get past this turret with between 20 and 40 HP left, depending on how you handled it. And from there, you're just gonna do this cute little maze. Okay, so I would recommend, unless you're really looking for a fast time, we're talking like if you're worried about saving a second or two everywhere, I recommend you just kill that conving. Let me see if I can show the other way of doing this. You can do this fancy damage boost right here. I messed it up at the last second. If you copy this movement exactly, slide, jump, flutter, go under, flutter, jump, and right there you do the damage boost, kill the conving as you go, and that should set you up for a nice cycle here as well to go under the turret. If you're not comfortable with the damage boost, and it really only saves about a second on that screen, you can just simply kill the conving, and then proceed as normal, and take the save. And if you're uncomfortable with the platforming here, that might be the best option anyway. Wow, see, if you're bad like me, you probably want this save. It should be noted that on this screen, as you approach this turret from the left, sometimes you'll get a shot to the face when you first just enter it, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's kind of unlucky. That's why I recommend that you practice that sequence of screens over and over a little bit, so that you can get things down to where you are moving through them at the same speed every time, because then that gets the entire area on a cycle, and that way when you approach this turret, it's always on the same cycle, so you're not worried about what you can get. Otherwise, if you start from that yellow save that I started at before, that's probably a good place to make things consistent from that point on. Anyway, this next screen, you're just gonna stay up there, kill that conving. And this screen, if you're on a really good cycle, there's a way that you can slide past all the hands and not lose any time. But anymore, because of the new glitch that's been found, I almost just recommend you do exactly this. Just clip through the platform. If you practice to get the cycle perfect, then you can save like half a second or so. But it's just easier anymore to clip through the platform unless you're on a perfect cycle. Okay, so here we go with the first major boss of the game, because Myogi 1 doesn't really count. For Pakora, I recommend you start with this weapon, Envy. Pakora is actually kind of an interesting boss, because you get to use so many different weapons on it. I always recommend you start with a Flutter and a jump, and you try to just get as much damage as you can on this guy. For this attack here, Stomps, I recommend you use Greed. Whenever he's enraging like this, I also recommend you use Greed and just Flutter and jump off. I want to reset a few times so I can go over the different attacks, because the strategy for each attack matters quite a bit, and it really makes the boss more consistent, as well as faster. So when you get this attack at the start, you know you've already won. You're just going to angle your weapon up and right, and then just jump up and down, like so, and just beat up Pakora. It's really easy to get the kill. That's the best luck you can possibly get, is that attack first. When this happens, go with Sloth and Flutter underneath and hit him like that. Same with this right here. And then switch to Greed and get up in his face for some easy damage. And then once again, when he does the Enrage attack, you just Flutter off for the easy kill. I think the only attack he hasn't done yet is Wind, so let's keep going until we get that. Once again, just underneath the Sloth makes that easy. This attack again, just angle your weapon up and to the right. Easy. It's Fro's hardest boss. Rip Fro. Should be noted, if you do this first part right, you should only get hit once. Again, Stomps, just use Greed. Hey Maddle, what's up? Enrage, Flutter, jump. Oh, we even missed that time. Just waiting for one attack. As soon as he does it, we can move on. At this point, I'm just gonna wait for it. He's taking forever. Okay, here we go. So for this attack, I recommend you select this weapon, Lust. And then you can just jump and Flutter from pretty far away and deal significant damage. And then once he gets up close again, you can switch back to this. So remember, for Wind, Lust, for Spit, as well as the first attack, you want to use Envy. For the swoop attacks where he's swooping over you, and then the ones where he's swooping under you, you want to use Sloth, because he's passing by you so fast. You don't have any time to swipe him with anything else. But Sloth, if you can hit him, does a full 8 damage, so it's pretty good. And then for Stomps, when he's up close on top of you, you can just beat him up with this, with Greed. And then when he's getting angry, just flutter off. Hit him with that. That makes it more consistent. Okay, so once the boss is dead, just talk to Ruby here. And now there's this really terrible section of the game that nobody likes. We call it falling. And what's up, Mordo? How you doing? And what we're going to do here is, because nobody likes this part of the game, is we're going to skip it. We're going to skip it. So what I recommend you do there is hit F2, get back to the menu, and as I mentioned at the start of the video, make sure you have a save on save 2, where V has a double jump unlocked. As you can see here, we have it unlocked. It doesn't matter where you are in the game. It doesn't matter how early, how late, which level, any of that. The only thing that matters is V has a double jump. If V has a double jump on the save, make sure you're standing on the ground, hit F2 again. Now I want to do something, because I feel like a lot of people don't get this. We're just going to lower the volume all the way for a second. Hit F2. Do you hear that sound? Boom. Listen for it again. Boom. That sound effect is actually the sound effect of V being killed. The thing is, if you load the save too quickly before that sound happens, you'll spawn up in the corner of the map, and it's kind of just weird. What you want to do is hit F2, wait for that sound to play, which means that V has been killed off and the game's variables have been reset to a certain extent. Then you're going to load your save file, and that's going to make things work. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use our double jump and our flutter to get outside of this area, like so. Let's turn music back on. Okay, so for the falling skip, I recommend you do movement similar to this. Jump, flutter, jump. Or you can do jump or flutter, jump, jump. It doesn't matter. The thing is, there's two ways to skip the falling section. You can either jump all the way out like so, and this is just fine. You can just continue on. In fact, I might even want to show you how to do this just once. Oops. So what you're going to do is just jump out, continue on. Remember, you only have one jump once you've used the second jump one time. When you actually do this, feel free to take the saves. I'm just not going to take any right now. Just want to show you how to do this platforming. It's pretty simple stuff. Once you grab the double jump feather, you're actually going to want to take that save over there first. So when you do this, actually, take that yellow save over there, go inside the first house over here, get the double jump feather, then reset to that save. And we'll use that to climb up to fight Electrum. But right now, I want to show you another way to do this, which is better. So again, get your double jump. And then what you want to do is jump a little bit lower. And what that does is it clips you outside of the falling section rather than fully jumps outside of it. And now, I still have Ruby on my back, and I'm able to do things normally. This is kind of goofy. So let's show you what I would do if I was going fast. You just want to cruise on through here. You want to get up in the sky here. When the dog is there, it'll let you skip part of the cutscene and keep moving. And then what you want to do is, instead of continuing to the right there, go up this way and take this save. And then you want to reset. Because as long as Ruby's on your back, things kind of continue to act weird. But what we want to do now is just take that save, flutter jump this way, head into the village, talk to our friend, and grab the feather. And now, had you done the skip the other way, where you fully jump outside, you would reset back to the yellow save. So you would end up right here. And if that happens, this is how you get up. It's pretty easy. But because we took this save earlier, we can skip that and reset to this save, which makes things easy. So now just copy this movement as you go through the stormy clouds. Now there's two ways to handle this part. Okay, just for tutorial's purpose, normally you do not want to take any more saves here. You want to go all the way to the boss, fight the boss, get the feather from the boss, and then reset back to the red save. And that skips all the backtracking. But just so I can show a few things, let's go ahead and take this save here. So that right there is the optimal way of doing this section. Taking a damage boost, jumping up to that ledge, and then continuing. The other way to do it is just to walk here, flutter under, double jump that way, get to this edge, and do it like so. So there's pros and cons of both. The thing is, you've got to keep in mind, how comfortable are you on Electrum, the next boss? Do you want to commit to a fight with less than full HP, or are you happy to get there with some damage having been taken? Also, how comfortable are you with damage boosting? It saves probably like 2 to 3 seconds to skip that other platforming if you do the boost. But either way, there is a save here if you take damage from the lightning orbs, but I recommend you skip it if you can. Alright, so Electrum here, I recommend you take Greed. You want to just run with the boss and do as much damage as you can. Okay, so right here he's getting angry. Same as Pakora, when he reaches a certain HP, he just gets mad. With Electrum, just dodge the things. It's pretty chill. With a little practice, none of this will ever hit you. And that's how you beat up the boss. It's a pretty simple boss. I don't really feel like I need to go over too much there. Once you take the feather, which this gives us the ability to shoot, which is pretty cool. We're going to reset back to the save. Ideally, you don't take any saves here again, and that way you can just go all the way back to the red save or the yellow save from the very beginning. Either this one or this one. And then you can just get back to the village from there. If you're coming from the red save, just, once again, flutter, jump here, and then slide your way over. Talk to this guy, because this opens the gate down here. Now we can continue. Alright, so from this point on, there's two ways you can go. But for the speedrun purpose, it's faster to just go to the right here. So we're going to pursue Amethyst. This platforming is fairly precise, so I kind of recommend you just do what I do here. Just tank the bee, run through the rock thrower, tank these bees here, jump, flutter, jump up this way. Now this trick is pretty tricky right there. If you do it right, that's how it should look like, that save. You should just get up there on the vent, touch the ground, and get your jumps back. You can tell when you see the dust from when V's touch the ground. But it's a pretty precise trick. If you mess it up, just land down here, use this vent to get back up, and then land on this here to get your double jumps back to get up this way. I would say that this air vent right here, doing the trick of landing on the base of it, is one of the harder things you can do in the game. It takes some practice. If you're uncomfortable doing it, just use this vent and this vent to get up. Alright, for this guy here, I recommend you practice this little skip. You can actually do it without a slide. Sliding makes it a little bit less precise. And then just flutter, double jump under. It's a pretty easy turret to do. If you're used to playing it on demon mode, it goes a lot faster, so you have to do it with the flutter underneath. And if that's easier for you, that's okay too. But I just recommend you learn it with the slide and double jump trick. Makes it kind of nice. Okay, here, if you did that right, you should be able to just take this damage, fake out that guy, do a flutter, jump here, and then just race to the red save. But that save is pretty simple. The turret's probably the most tricky part, as well as the jumping to get around that spike up there. It's pretty simple. Okay, for this save, this is probably what's coming up next, the hardest platforming section in the game anymore, thanks to a recent patch that made some things more tricky than they used to be. As such, I'm going to go over it fairly in-depth. So what I recommend you do, if you're worried about speed first and foremost, and you're willing to play risky, take this save, reset it, and immediately go right to catch this air vent. Do your movement just like so. And then catch that damage boost right there. Ooh, I got a flutter glitch. That's not supposed to happen. I pressed flutter, but I was touching the corner of a platform, so it took it away from me. That's another reason why this save can be very brutal. Sometimes things just don't go as planned. Alright, if you have less than 40 HP here, you want to dodge the windmill, like so. And then from there, you're home free. So that's good movement to copy if you're worried about getting hit by the windmill there, because that's how you can dodge the blades. And then you would just go up and take that save. If you're not comfortable doing that strat, what I recommend doing is taking this yellow save right here, then resetting, using Pride to one-shot the bug again, and then you can take this, The cycle is a little bit worse overall. Oh gosh. Bugs, please. I got hit there, so this is bad already. Oh no, we're dead. If you're almost dead here, jump over this way and take the Heart of Shame. There's nothing shameful about it in a speedrun when you're trying to not die. And if you have more than 40 HP, I recommend you just tank that windmill, because it's pretty easy to kill this rock thrower without getting hit. And then there's still yet another way to do this, if you're not comfortable with going in with that little bit of HP. You'll take a little bit less damage by getting boosted off the bug, like so. And then you can just go up this way, and you have a little bit more health, which makes things a little more consistent. Again, tank the blade if you have the HP for it, and then go up. I don't really recommend that you do a strat that goes through the entire level here, so I really recommend you get that damage boost down. I guess a little tip I should mention with the bug strat here: jump up when you're standing here so that the bug aims above you, because the bullets kind of fall as they go. So if you're trying to get the bug to hit you with its bullets, I just recommend that you fake it out by having it shoot at you like so. So just jump up to make it aim at you more quickly, so you don't waste time waiting for it. So again here, if you don't have enough HP, jump, flutter, jump, like that. And then watch out for the troll rock thrower. Okay, any questions there? Okay, coming up next is the Troll Cave. This used to be one of the scariest parts of the game. Still might be, but thankfully there's a skip now that makes it probably a little bit safer for most people. First off, let me show you what to do if you just want to do it normally. Use both your jumps there to get through it, then a flutter to get through the little gap with the spikes. There's a nice little ledge here. Once V's standing on the edge and she's doing the falling animation, you can easily just walk off, double jump. And then just use the air vent and a flutter to get over this way, which lets you enter Amethyst pretty consistently and safely. Once again with Amethyst, same as with Electrum before, you want to take the first save at the start before you went through any of the cave. And then you want to fight the boss, and once you're done, you can reset back to the boss to save some backtracking time. If you're uncomfortable with that though, and if you take damage, feel free to take the save. You're only losing about 4 or 5 seconds on the backtrack. Now let me show you now a different way to do this. So you see this rock thrower that's over there on the right? She cannot throw the rock through the walls, because why would she be able to? That doesn't make any sense. Of course she can't throw it through the walls, but if you load the screen such that the rock is midair while you're transitioning, the rocks will be able to hit you. So what you do here is if you might have been able to see there, the rock crumbled as it hit the wall. So we're going to try this again. It's all about timing. See, I got hit by the rock. And what you can do is you can damage boost and get up there. I'm a little rusty on this. There you go. So what I recommend for this is it's just more consistent if you go from the first time. So if you miss it, just reset and try it again. Hey, Alma, what's up? Was a little bit late there. A little bit late. A little bit late. And there you go. And then you would just slide your way to the boss. Alright, so normally, right here, I would just go fight the boss and reset back to the beginning. Because I want to cover this boss a little bit, I'm going to take this save just to show you. And again, feel free to take that save if you're not comfortable fighting this boss on less than full HP. Okay, so for Amethyst here, Amethyst has a plethora of different attacks. For the most part, I recommend you just stay on greed the entire time and just get on top of her whenever you see her, except when she does an attack like this. So for the water attack, I recommend you just circle them around like that. For the ice blocks, when they're slow on the first phase, it's safe to jump to each one. With wind, just get used to the physics, bounce back and forth. For the death beam, just jump, flutter above it, and then fall back to a safe point over and over. Makes it pretty consistent and safe. For rocks, you just want to be slowly moving from one side to the other. Makes that attack pretty safe. Again, death beam, find a safe spot between two bits of fire. Jump, flutter. Okay, for water, again, just... You'll learn how to kind of manipulate that. You'll get hit once in a while. When these are going fast, jump to every other ice block instead of each one. For icicles, you can stand directly underneath her and walk back and forth like that, or if she's far away, just dodge it normally. For wind, remember too, if there's a wall that's uncovered with fire, you can just stand in the corner. Again, just loop these around. Pretty simple. Ooh, for lightning, when there's no fire on the ground, you can just slide underneath it. Otherwise, use this safe spot there. Just memorize that spot where the bush is every time for lightning. Oh no, I got hit. Remember to stand to the right edge of this bush here. There's a safe spot on the other bush as well. Anything else that I haven't covered? I think that's been everything. Just finish her off. But so the boss, I like Amethyst because it's a boss that you can fully control the fight once you know all the moves and you're comfortable with them. It just takes a little practice with the movement to not get hit. I think the water attack with the little orbs is probably the hardest one, the bubbles. Anyway, once you're done with that, just reset. You can use this path for a backtrack if you took the save. Otherwise, if you did things the speedrunning way, you would just reset to this save here. Interesting. I remember the death beam being a full instant kill, but if it does 90%, that's nice. Okay, so from this save, just go left, go through this door, skip the cutscene, and fall all the way down. Alright. So for this specific section, I recommend you equip Pride. Again, in case you haven't played this, you shoot the switches to disable the lasers. Jump, flutter, shoot. Easy. Let's do this once again. Full speed. What you're gonna do here is slide underneath the bat, hit it with Pride. Do this puzzle. And then because you have Pride equipped, it does 4 damage a swipe, and the bat has 6 HP. You can just easily one-shot the bat there. Feel free to take that save if you're not comfortable. Otherwise, jump, jump, flutter here. Shoot that spider. And then you can choose to tank that bomb up there if you want to be a little bit faster. Let's go over this one more time, just in case. I think the platforming in this section is very, very consistent if you've practiced this a decent amount. But if you're newish to the game, it probably seems a bit intimidating. Oops, I missed it. That's okay. So if you don't want to tank that bomb because you're worried about HP, you just go under like that. Just hug that wall to get past that mine that's like in kind of a scary place. And then just take this save. Pretty easy. From this save, just slide onto the minecart. And then you can do either a flutter or a jump to get through those spikes there. Oops. Hey Moonlight, what's up, you? Just slide underneath the minecart, jump up, hit that switch. Okay, for this puzzle here, just flutter, shoot the switch, jump twice, shoot the switch downward, and proceed. It's a little bit tricky, again, if you haven't done this before. It takes a little bit of practice. If you spend a few minutes grinding that out, though, you'll get the muscle memory down just fine. Here for the spiders, you can just tank every single one of them here. Jump past that guy. And then jump over these guys. Now there's a few ways to handle this room. I recommend you do Wolfie's strat. You spawn all the plants, and then you take the save. You just gotta make sure all of them appear on screen before you fall down and take it. If you mess up, so first off, it makes it easy because you can just shoot that switch then and head up and there's no enemies in your way. If that's something you're not comfortable doing, you can just do something like that. I recommend you use Pride to one-shot those plants. Makes it pretty consistent. Otherwise, another thing you can do, if I can remember my own strat. I can't remember my own strat. There you go. You can do that, and you can damage boost up past the plants, which is actually the fastest way to do it, but I recommend you do Wolfie's strat because it just gets rid of the plants completely, and then you can just head on up. Unless you're wanting to save 2 or 3 seconds, in which case, go for either of the other 2 strats. Yeah, Wolfie's totally joining the tournament. This whole game's just really fun, Moonlight. I really like the platforming and the bosses in it. Okay, so once you get here, shoot the save. You can either jump over these things or just tank them like that. Best thing to do there is just hug that wall and fall downwards to shoot that switch, because it's easier to aim straight down than it is to aim any other way. Okay, so here, just shoot this plant from far away. I recommend you go through this path here. If that intimidates you, Just jump, jump, flutter there, and then take the save here. And all you would do is just flutter there, jump here, and jump there. Otherwise, if you take the shortcut, you actually have an extra jump or an extra flutter, which makes things a little bit easier. Jump, flutter, jump here to get through those. And then you can either do the gate jump here, or if you have full HP, what I like to do usually is just take this and go through it. If you're uncomfortable with this next spot, take the save of shame. If not, just fall down, shoot that, slide, slide, flutter, jump, shoot, and you're out. And it's pretty easy. This is a boss actually that I recommend if you're comfortable with half HP when you get here from taking the bomb. You can always go and fight the boss. This boss is one of the easiest bosses in the game once you know it. But I'll take it just for now to be thorough. So basically with this boss, you just want to keep on shooting it. If you shoot too low, it doesn't hurt it, so just be in the air. Shoot them over and over. Dodge the things. This boss is really, like, I think is a good exercise in being comfortable with your jumps and your flutters to give yourself good height and air time to dodge things. But as long as you keep your bullets from ever maxing out above V's head, you never want to have full bullets, just always be shooting. It really simplifies the boss. I really recommend you use Lust here, just to one-shot the bombs and the missiles. It makes managing anything scary on this boss much easier. And just like that, I don't really think there's much to say about that boss. Dark Annihilator is pretty easy once you know what to do. Just be noted that if you allow him to push you too far, you'll eventually hit these spikes and die. But as you can see, we killed him when we were pretty far away still. So the big issue is just make sure your damage just never stops. Just keep shooting him. Make sure to hug DA. There's no reason to take the Darkham Watch in an 80% run of this game, so I would recommend you just ignore that. Climb up here, get out. That screen right there, I just recommend that you just practice the timing for it from dropping from the save. Makes it kind of safe and easy. Okay, let's show you how to do this correctly. Just walk off, jump, shoot that switch, flutter, jump. Makes that really safe and easy. You don't need to take this save. In fact, this is part of the game that I think I scare a lot of people when I do runs of this, because you can just straight up ignore just about every single save for quite a long time here, once you're confident and comfortable with the platforming. But just for tutorial's sake, take the save. This screen, there's two ways to do it. The way I recommend is hit your head on top of that, or on the bottom of that block, and shoot up. And that shoots that switch pretty easily. If you're not comfortable doing that, then I recommend stand here and shoot down. And that'll let you also lower the lasers. As long as you reach that point, you're good. But I recommend you do this strat here. Once you get here, make sure you hug this wall. You do not want to slide if you're away from the wall. Hug the wall, keep holding right, and it makes that really easy. What it does is it prevents you from hitting the spike that's on the ceiling when you first flutter under. If you flutter from back here, you're likely to hit that spike just like that. So hug the wall and then do it. Just hold right the entire time. It makes that little corridor much easier to get through. Again, no need to take the save. I'll do it just for now. What you do here is just hold left, jump onto the minecart, walk under. You're just going to go as far ahead as you can and shoot this switch. And then just wait for the minecart. Don't bother with the first switch that's back there at all. Also, that was a bad way to do that. Let me show you the right way. Just ignore that switch, go this way, land on this little platform. I recommend you do it just like that. Just shoot downwards through that little gate. Up here, as soon as the screen transitions, just walk off, flutter, jump, jump. It's pretty easy. Alright, so here, shoot the switch, jump, flutter, jump, get out, jump, jump, flutter. You're home free. Flutter, jump, jump. Here you can just walk forward. All of this is pretty easy stuff. Don't think I need to cover it in too much detail. You can kill these plants. I recommend you kill this one up here. The other two you can just jump over if you would rather do that. I always recommend you use Pride to take out that bat. Here I recommend don't shooting these plants, just wait until about here, and then double jump flutter over, shoot up, shoot that switch there, and then just quickly get over here. It just makes that section really easy. Alright. So next up is Terravine, the boss that we always joke is like the boss that kills the most speedrunners when we derust. It's kind of a scary boss. I'll try to cover it in as much depth as I can. You just want to get in its face early. Okay, for this attack, you want to jump over the lasers as much as you can, because sometimes you can prevent yourself from getting hit an extra time. That attack, you just bait left and right and left and right. It's pretty simple. For this guy, you want to jump up in his face when the vines are out. Always use all 3 minecarts on that attack to cancel the big laser. For the orbs, I recommend you just stay back and then get back in his face as soon as you can. When you get this attack, after the minecarts have been used, just stay in his face. Don't worry about killing the little plants, because they're just a waste of time. This is called home invasion. Again, this attack, just back and forth in his face. Left, right, left, right. Pretty easy. Okay, when you get this attack before the minecarts, jump over and kill the 3rd plant before you proceed to do more damage. Again, all 3 minecarts. See, right there, with the slow lasers, had I just stood in front of him, I would have taken 4 hits. Because you can't damage boost through one of them with iframes, because they're too slow. But by jumping over them, I saved myself an extra hit. 2 extra hits, actually. Alright. Not sure if there's anything else I need to cover there. Just play aggressive, stay in his face. Back off only when you're really scared about dying at the very end if you've got like 20 HP left, or if it's on the orb attack or the green attack when you have to run back and forth. Don't chase the little plants unless it's before you use the minecarts. Don't think I think that's everything, so. That's how you get out. Ah, frick. Don't do that. I've lost runs to that before, not gonna lie. Okay, I'm gonna talk to Amethyst. Just skip these cutscenes. Now we're at the Underworld. This save right here can be kind of scary because there's a lot of enemies. What I recommend you do is either right from the get-go when you skip the cutscene, or you'll want to reset. But either way, as soon as you spawn here, jump twice over that fire, do a full jump flutter there, and then bait out that skeleton like so. And then you can just use this save to kill everything. So once again, jump, slide, jump, flutter, jump. Multiple slides, bait out the skeleton. And that's the fastest strat, and the safest way to handle that save. If you get stuck, if you like fail a jump down here or something, it's usually best to just kill the stupid tree, and then hope you can make it up here without dying. And usually you can, usually it's not too bad. If you do mess it up though, sometimes it's best just to reset and try that whole sequence from the beginning. Here, you can jump, flutter from fairly low to get up there. I do recommend it's a jump, flutter to get above that, so you don't have to wait for the stupid fire. Depending on your comfort level, either kill the fire guy, then go, or you can go and try to handle the fire guy on the move. Just use this little ledge here to kill the tree, just makes things more consistent. You can just ignore this guy and just race to the save. Remember, the fire damages you, but it's not like it's gonna kill you if you have even like half HP left. So at that point, you can just race. Just get to the save. Okay, the portal. If you're worried about HP, you can do a trick with the tree here. Let me show you. The tree does one attack like that with its branch, and you can just jump away from it. For the skeleton there, you just want to get up in his face. I recommend you ignore the conving for a second, and just try to take out the skeleton as fast as you can. Basically, priority here goes skeleton, fire guys. Anything else is just trivial. But you can choose either to just face tank the tree at the start to save some time. Let me do that again, because maybe it's a lot of stuff to look at. So stand there to kill the conving, fake out the tree, or face tank it, either way. Jump flutter to kill the skeleton as fast as you can, and then chase the fire guys. And again, once the skeleton's past you, you kind of just want to shoot it. But if there's fire guys, because they can teleport to like underneath the platforms and get super far away, if they're in range, kill the fire guys. It just makes things easy. Once you take that save, you're past the portal. Did I say hi to you, Terravine? If I didn't, I'm sorry. Okay. So again, these things you just use by using the flutter button. Pretty easy. I recommend you copy this movement here, because it gets you past that really safely. So slide, flutter, dash, jump to get over that. Face tank the tree. He can't really kill you. Ah. If you do this right, and you reset at that save, that fire will never catch you. But that's only if you reset at this save. You get a good cycle. What's up, Steven? And that'll get you to the save point here, which is a good place to be. If, for whatever reason, you get held up by something, or if you don't reset at that save, let's just say you chase down that fire guy because he's being annoying, you can't trust this thing, so wait for it to go, then jump Flutter, and dash over to the right. Okay, once you take the save, what I recommend you do here is just Flutter, jump, jump, and just boost through that turret. It just makes things easy. There are faster ways to kill the convings on this screen, but if you just use greed, it makes it kind of safe. I would say the most important thing here is just make sure that you get onto that screen with most of your HP. If you can tank 2 hits, you can just face tank the convings and get past them. It's pretty easy. Okay, here, I always recommend you switch to Pride. Just face tank the tree, use Pride to kill the little strawberry monsters, and then you can do that shortcut. Otherwise, if the shortcut's intimidating, jump, jump, Flutter, dash, just go around like that. Oh, you're fine, Steven, don't worry about it. People are happy to ask questions, or I'm happy if you ask questions and stuff too. I'm just trying to get people aware of this game. But that's how you do that. Remember, when you dash through this platform here, you get your jumps back. So if you used all your jumps getting here, you can dash through this platform and just jump up here without having to touch the ground first. If you're on fire, if this fire catches you, I recommend you take the save and just reset. You can use the feathers to dash while you're on fire, but it's kind of precise. You have to do it in between the ticks of damage. Shark was really good at that, but it's something that I'm not as comfortable with, so I usually will just reset here if I get hit by fire. That movement's pretty simple. That is, this section right here, though, where you fall, flutter, jump, this is deceptively one of the hardest parts of the game, I would say, to do consistently. It seems like it's really tricky. You can do a strat where you can hug this wall as you fall down the air vent, and you'll fall a little bit faster. And so you try it either way. Try it either going slowly through the vent before you flutter, or try falling fast before you flutter. I would say it's just runner's choice. Either one of those strats will work, but it's kind of tricky, so... Alright, for this spot here, highly recommend you take Pride. What you're going to do is just slide, hold left, one-shot that fire guy, and then if that guy doesn't leave you... Because one thing, I think this is actually the first time we've encountered this. You see these blue fog walls over there? Usually you're not allowed to leave the level. They trap you until you've killed everything. But as long as they're off the screen, you can just leave. So the skeleton is kind of the enemy where you can always abuse this with. You make him fly off the screen, you can just slide through. So what we're going to do again is dash, dash, kill this thing. Hold left, one-shot that guy, one-shot that guy, and you can just immediately leave. You don't have to fight that skeleton. If you want to, if you're not comfortable doing the fast strat, feel free to kill him on the previous screen. Remember, you just let him dash past you and shoot him down. It's pretty easy. But if you can do the fast strat, I would say it's actually easiest to do it that way. Just one-shot the fire guys. Remember to use Pride. Okay, here, there's a couple ways to do this. This is the method I like to use. Dash, 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 dash. Jump over. Or you can do like that. I think there are other ways to do it too, but I'll be proud of you if you use that method, because it's the best. Okay, for Cran Iraq, I actually don't know if it matters what weapon you take anymore. For the longest time, Pride was the best. immediately just touch the ground, jump to the right, and just start shooting. Once again, this boss is really similar to Dark Annihilator, in that all you want to do is keep your damage going. Don't ever stop shooting. For this attack for rocks, you want to be as close to the boss as you can be when he starts the attack, because that'll let you have more rocks that are farther to the left and let you do more damage. Remember, this attack, you just beat him left to right, left to right. It's pretty simple. You can wait here, and it'll make the platform spawn sooner if you're worried about HP. I'm just going to show you the fight a couple of times. Yeah, I'm using keyboard, Steven. Remember, just jump to bait these guys out. You know Rocks is coming up soon, so you just stay in front of him. Oh no, I got hit. Left to right. We could have gotten the fast kill there. Again, if you're worried about HP, I recommend you wait there, because then these platforms get here right away. Otherwise, they take a while. Not really a lot to say about the boss, I guess. Just, again, just like Dark Annihilator, keep shooting the boss. Don't let your bullets ever max out. Don't ever have 3 dots above your head. Keep shooting as much and as fast as you can. And if you do that, the boss is much shorter than usual. I would recommend you play with whatever you're comfortable with, Steven. Keyboard, controller, doesn't matter. I like keyboard more, but there are plenty of people who will argue for controller. Okay, this section, there's a little bit of thought to be put into it. The only thought that I like to put into it, really, is because you have pride from the previous boss, and because you're taking the extra time to grab the save right here, which kind of makes... it kind of messes up cycles if you try to go right or if you try to go up. You can just do the bottom path first, because cycles don't matter for the bottom path. Hug this wall there to go faster. What I recommend here is take a hit and then walk through the centaur, so that way you can be ready to slide as fast as you can. Never, ever, 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 ever take these saves. Touch the key and reset. Okay, with both the right path and the top path here, it doesn't matter which one you do next. Just know as soon as you reset, you should start moving. I'm going to go right first, so reset, instantly slide, jump over that. I messed that up, actually. There you go. You make it underneath the worm. Jump, jump, slide, jump. I went a little bit too low there. Okay, this is actually the first time to talk about something. So, I'm actually go to the other path first. It'll be a better way to explain this. Because you can either... I need to explain this trick, because a lot of people won't get this. Okay, so from here... I mentioned at the start of the run that Flutter will add on to whatever movement you're used to doing. So if you do a jump flutter, you'll get more height than if you do a flutter jump. The same is true with the feather dash. So right there, if you wait until the end of a dash to flutter, you won't get much height. But if you flutter while you're still moving, you'll get a significant amount of height. So right there, if you wait till the end, not very much. Right there, a lot more. You can see the difference, it's pretty clear. That was perfect, because I got all the way up and touched that hole. So, what you want to do is just practice the timing of using your flutter towards the end of a dash to get the most height out of it. It makes a pretty big difference. Ironically enough, I'm not going to use that trick here. What I recommend you do for this save is do a... well, okay, let's actually start over, because I want to go over the movement from earlier too. Because what you're supposed to do here, what the intended route is you're supposed to go up like this, and then jump over this way. But because of the flutter, we call it the flutter dash, because of that mechanic, you can actually skip that. And you can just slide, jump, flutter dash, jump, and make it over here. And you can skip that entire thing over there, which is pretty consistent, and it's a lot more fun, and it saves some time. So I recommend you learn it. So again, slide, jump, dash, flutter, get up here. Once again, damage boost through the centaur with your iframes, so you can just immediately head over here. Right here, ideally, you want to do a jump, flutter, jump to get right up here, so you can make this. And what that does is it lets you hit a cycle, where using that same flutter dash mechanic, you can skip one of those feathers that you pick up. So I recommend you learn that if you can. If you are not comfortable doing the flutter dash, that's okay. You can just do it the intended way, like that. It's just a little bit slower. Okay, so now, there's multiple ways to do this puzzle. I recommend you do this. Just do a flutter, catch that, jump, jump, get up here. I think that's the safest and the easiest way. There's a lot of different ways to do it, and I haven't practiced them in forever, so I'm not comfortable showing them right now. Just know that that's the way that I do it. So again, flutter, dash, 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 jump, jump, dash, and you're done. It's easier to just probably copy that. Or if there's somebody else who does it a different way that you like better, or if you want to figure out something else, that's okay. Do what you'd like to do. I think that this is a very fast and easy way to do it. Again, damage boost through the centaur. Slide on through, reset back. And because I took that save, you don't want to take that save. Because I took that save, I've got to fall this way. Ideally, you'll just reset back to this save. And again, there's a couple ways to do this section right here. I recommend the way that I'm going to do it. Ideally, just fall, and then dash twice horizontally right there. That's the fastest way to do the worm chase, and faster is safer for this section. There are other ways to do it, but I would say this is the easiest. Just remember to jump past the spikes right here, because those can kill you, and that sucks. Okay, for this section, I recommend you take Lust. You're going to catch this air vent, flutter up to here, and then shoot down the conving and use 2 full jumps to get there. There's a way that you can do this without using anything. I'm not super familiar with it myself. I've seen some people do it without using a flutter at all, but I think it's much more difficult. Just use a flutter there. That jump can be kind of tricky at the end. It just takes practice. Okay, from here, I recommend you take Greed, and there's a fast cycle to catch here. So start by shooting the Centaur, get him as much as you can. As soon as he lands there, jump up, kill the fire guy, and then slide through. If you don't do it the fast way, you can do it after 2 fire guys, but just know there's a total of 4 who will spawn. So if you wait to kill all 4, it's much slower. Again, just slide into him, shoot him. As soon as he lands, just like that. It's probably easier just to watch it and copy it than it is for me to explain it. Just know the cue here is when he lands to jump over here, kill him, slide back, and go. If you can't hit the 1 fire guy cycle, go for the 2, because there's a lot of time between the spawns of the 2nd and the 3rd fire guy. So if you can't hit it in 1, slow it down a little bit, kill the 2nd one, then go. But ideally you don't want to kill all the fire guys before you go through that wall. I'm getting tired of talking. Okay. Because you took the save, we're setting up for what we're going to call the Ancient Construct skip. Just fall off this, flutter to the left, skip this save here, and stand on exactly this spot. And then jump, jump, flutter to the right. Exactly this spot, hold right, jump, jump, flutter. The main difficulty about this skip is just standing in the right spot. But if you stand in the right spot and do the damage boost correctly, you shouldn't have any trouble. It's just about holding right. Other people you'll see will use a spot like right here. I don't recommend this because it's more precise, the timing that you have to hit of, okay, I'm partway up, now I'm going to start holding right. You have to be flexible. With this, you can just hold right the entire time. There's a trigger right here that you're trying to jump over, and that's the reason why you're doing it this way. So you need both the damage boost as well as the right spot to jump from to make it so it's really easy to skip the boss. And that lets you skip the boss completely. Now if you really have a difficult time with this skip, and you want to fight the boss, I'll just show you how to do it real quick, because it's not a mandatory skip for the run by any means. I just really recommend it. Always just, you want to hit 2 statues at a time with Greed. And then you want to pop the left one first. Then the right one. Use Gluttony, this attack right here. Just stand in the middle, aim up, kill the eyeballs like that. Use Greed again to kill the 2, with both statues at a time. Pop the middle statue next. So once you've done the left statue first, always just do right, middle, right, middle, right, middle until the boss dies. And don't do that. Don't leave the boss with 1 HP and do a full enraged phase. Alright. But if you skip the boss, you don't have to fight it at all. You can just damage boost over it and just move on with your day. That's about a minute time save if you get the damage boost first try. The boss isn't a very long fight, but it's still a minute time save, so you want to save it if you can. Hey, Fibat, what's up? Okay, this section here is all kind of based on how fast you move. Just slide, jump, flutter, get over that. Damage boost through that one thing, jump, flutter, jump, jump. And there you go. Just copy that movement exactly for the easiest way through there. That is a nice emote. You always have to come talk to Ruby and Amethyst right here. Alright, this save here, I recommend for the easiest strat for this next screen, just reset, because what you want to do by resetting the cycle is make the black hole that swirls here always be in the same spot, because that also indicates that they're all in the same spot on this screen. So reset. Now what you want to do is stand on this edge, get the damage boost from that spike ball, and then it'll always let you get up here with no interference. Which makes it just more consistent. Otherwise, if you're not comfortable with that, you can just wait a little bit longer and jump around like so. You can also jump up like this. But I really recommend you just do the damage boost strat if you're comfortable with those damage boosts. Once you get here, what you're going to want to do at this point, keep in mind you get your HP back here, which makes it comfortable for resetting this screen. This screen is one of the most important in the game to do fast. Flutter, catch that feather. Don't die like me. Catch the feather, stand on this ledge, and do that flutter dash glitch from earlier. And that's what we call the library skip. So if you execute all of this correctly, you'll get through there unscathed, catch the feather, easy skip. Hardest part of the skip is probably the flutter dash itself if you're not comfortable with that, as well as just getting past these first spike balls without getting touched. It's okay to take a small hiccup like that. The main thing you're worried about is being fast enough that this black hole does not get in your way, because if you dash up here late and this guy's right in your way, you're gonna die. As well as, also if you're late, you can sometimes get caught by this dude. Because if he sees you, you're just gonna die. Pretty simple. If you're not comfortable with the library skip, because you're not comfortable with the flutter dash trick, I'll just show you how to do the library really quick. Ah, come on. You can just damage boost through that guy. Aw, man. I never practiced this section, so bear with me for a second. Then you just watch for this guy here. And it's not that bad. Library skip only saves about 20 seconds. It's not a huge deal. It's big, but it's not huge. If you're not comfortable doing the flutter dash for the skip, then you're not, like, if you're in a race and you're outplaying your opponent and you're not comfortable with the skip, you can still comfortably take the library, and it's not the biggest deal. But if you can do the skip, it's better. Especially for PB attempts. Okay. Once you hit the save, there is a strat where you don't, if you do the skip, you don't reset here, and you just go on and there's a fast cycle. It's kind of complicated. If you want to see it, I recommend you watch one of my speedrun PBs. But for the sake of this tutorial, I don't think it's worth it. It only saves about a second. Just take the save, reset, go through the door, wait for this guy to turn around, and then go, drop, flutter, dash up here, just drop down, wait for him to turn around, jump up. Easy. Feel free to reset here, or to not, if you're comfortable with the cycle that you get from the black holes. Up to you. The elevator is pretty easy if you practice it. Just try to cut things close. I recommend right here you do a flutter to walk off. Get the spike balls to aim low, and then you can just get through that part really safely. I recommend you equip Lust to fight the skeletons at the top. Just back and forth, weave through these things. What you want to do here, ideally, is kill one skeleton, and then you can just force the other one through, like so. If you're not comfortable doing that, by all means, it's perfectly fine to kill both skeletons before you go through. But if you can kill the one on the right, so start shooting the one on the left. When he dashes right, keep shooting him. And then the other one, when he dashes to the right, you can just get past the wall, because it'll lower. So I recommend you do it that way. This section here, I recommend you equip Greed. In my runs, I'll do it a lot when I'm just moving on the fly through this next section, but that can be kind of tough. So if you're not comfortable doing that, just equip Greed ahead of time. It's okay to take a hit there. Just wait out this cycle. And you want to Greed just to kill those convings. And that's how you do it if you don't want to take any damage up to that point. Alright, this next boss, Myogi 2, is kind of an important deal in a speedrun, because there is a way to skip the enrage phase, and it's much, much shorter of a fight if you do that. It saves about 40 to 45 seconds if you get the enrage skip first try. Wolfie has a really good video on how to do the enrage skip. I'll want to link in the description on YouTube and Twitch to Wolfie's video on how to do the skip. I'll show it here, but I'm also going to show you how to do it without the skip, so you can see both ways. Okay, so first I'm just going to show you the basic fight, no skip. The idea is you only want to hit Myogi when that yellow meter depletes itself, because then she doesn't heal from your attacks. Get comfortable with the idea that every time she says something, it usually means something. She's prepping for another attack. Again, just like previous bosses, just like Dark Annihilator and Cran Iraq, a big part of the difficulty of this fight is just getting damage in non-stop. So this is her enrage phase. You're just going to jump over this thing twice, 3 times actually. A couple more times this way, and then this way. This attack right here is easiest to read if you just stand in the middle, right on top of Myogi. Right there, didn't even have to move. Fun thing to note about this attack is you can dodge against the wall like that for a lot of things. With the skull, just hit it off the screen. And it won't be in your way. I recommend use Lust on this boss just because you can shoot through the fireballs. Okay, I want to go over this boss a couple times because it's kind of tricky. It's a good idea to jump like this to keep the fireball high so that you can just slide underneath it when you need to. Okay, something I want to cover here. When she's in the middle, just hit her twice horizontally and she'll reach the fire. It's pretty easy to hit her like that. One thing I think a lot of people who are newer to the game have trouble with is consistently getting Myogi in the lava. If she's to the right or left of these pillars, off-center, just hit her up to the right or up to the left, and she'll land in the lava, which makes it a really easy hit. So right here, up to the left, she'll drop right in. Just want to go over some of the basic stuff some more. So right here again, just up to the left. Easy. Bank shot. If you mess up though, and she lands just short like that, just jump up and hit her straight down right, or down left, depending on which side she's on, and it'll just finish clipping her into the lava. So again, from here, up and to the left. Alright, now I want to go over the enrage skip. So the only difference with the enrage skip for the first part is you're going to want to heal her 6 times. So for the first 6 hits, you always want to hit her a second and even a third time if you can. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, 4... Was that 6? I feel like that was 6. Yeah. I'm just talking out of my ass. From here, you just play normally. Just beat her up, 1 hit at a time. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now we're just gonna wait until this attack happens. And there's a spot. When she does this attack here, the way you cancel it... I'm gonna need to set that up again. It's hard to explain this as I go. I'm definitely going to want to link Wolfie's tutorial for this. Messed up. Gotta count it out, dude. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. So from here, we're just going to hit her until her HP is exactly 40%. I think I healed her once. I think I healed her. This is not gonna work. Yeah. But that's the meter, right there. 40%. When you're looking for the skip, that's the HP that you want to be looking for. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just dodge things, hit her one at a time, don't heal her. Okay, so after this part now we're looking to set this up. So just hit her until her HP is exactly at that line. One more hit. Now we're looking to set up the enrage skip. So what you're going to do is wait for her to do the bouncing rock attack again. Then you're going to hit her once as she powers it up. And then once as the rocks hit a certain point on the screen. And then that skipped her enrage phase, because it stunned her at the same time that she would have started it. Which saves you about 40 seconds compared to not doing it. And yeah, Ziggy's right. Usually she'll say, eat this. She'll stand here, eat this, and then the bouncing rocks will come out. And you'll want to look for when the bouncing rocks cross the window frame, the bottom frame. They'll cross the frame, and the top of the rock will basically align with the bottom frame. And as soon as that happens, you hit her for the second hit. And that should be the right timing for it. There's 4 frames of animation in which you can hit her for that second hit to stun her. It used to be frame perfect before Solgren recently patched the game, but now there's 4 frames to do it, so it's much easier than it used to be. For more information on that, I recommend you watch Wolfie's tutorial video. It's on this channel, on YouTube, and I'll link that later. Okay, for this next segment, I recommend you equip Envy. And this next screen is kind of tricky and precise on movement, so I recommend you just do exactly what I do here. Gets you through that screen very easily. There are other ways to do that screen, but this is just the way that I've always found to be the easiest. Just do that. Okay, for this screen, just tank that first hit there, slash the strawberry monster. Don't land here. This is something I see a lot of people do, is they land on that ledge, I recommend you don't land there. Just get aligned with this wall, jump, flutter, hold right, and get up here. Makes getting past the eater spikes much easier. And just slide, flutter, jump, jump past that guy, and then you can either do that, or you can tank the little slug on the corner here to fall down and iframe through the queen. Let's just do that one more time. Jump, flutter, jump to get past that. And there you go. Thanks for the link, Ziggy. I appreciate it. And there you go. That gets you through with 40 HP, which is good because that lets you tank one hit on this next screen. If you're really worried about stuff, you can stop. If you're worried about HP, what you can do, tank that hit anyway, it's too hard to not. Kill the monster. If you do it with greed, I think you can kill the slug, the queen, without getting hit. Otherwise, feel free to jump back up here in between to get past it without getting hit, if you want more HP. But with 40 HP, you should be fine here. I recommend Envy for this screen. What you're going to do is just get within range and just mow her down. So let's just do the whole segment now. Iframe through it, get over here. If you're fast, you can kill all the slugs before they reach the portal, which just saves some frames. I still think Envy's the best weapon to have out here. You can just do like that. It's usually best here, unless you know exactly where you are on the cycle. Just take the save and reset, because that puts this black hole right there, which lets you go with the fastest strat on this section. Just like that. Here, just do the puzzle and reset before the text box comes up. If you do it too fast, you won't get the puzzle to unlock, but if you do it right, you'll be fine. Okay, here, there's a couple ways to do this part. You can either jump, flutter here, and then you can get underneath like that. If I can just land the last part, that'd be great. What I recommend you do the easiest strat, I think, just from the reset, go here, and then use the dash feather to get over. And if you're fast, you can slide right underneath that black hole and get through. We call it the Oga skip. It's not really a skip, it's just a fast cycle. If you mess up the Oga skip, a backup plan is to jump through like that, or you can just wait the cycle out and do it the easiest way. So again, I just like to grab that, dash under. And as long as you can shoot while you're moving there, you should be able to make this skip every single time. It's pretty simple. Okay, because Chambers sucks now, Soulgrin repatched the game, and it doesn't have any music here unless you reset. I'm just gonna reset. Okay, again, this entire time I've had Envy out. I still recommend you keep it out for this next section, because it just gives you a little bit more range than Greed, and it's the same range as Pride, so either of these two will work, but I just prefer Envy. All you're gonna do here is slide, slide, jump. Jump twice there for an easy setup. You can just shoot this monster ahead of time and kill that guy. And then the easiest way to do that is just fall and flutter to the right. It's simpler than trying to set up a jump flutter from there. Oops. This section isn't overly precise by any means. You can make a couple movement mistakes and it's not going to matter. But again, just fall, hold right, and flutter. And it makes that first section really easy to get past. That's funny, you can't get past it. Oh well. Not sure if there's anything else I should cover here. Hey Genesis, thanks for the host. What's up, dude? Remember to slide underneath that, though. Again, it just helps to have envy for those enemies there. Just hold right, flutter. And then here, you're just bouncing your head on that platform, on the bottom of it, and then fluttering to the right. It just makes that jump a little bit easier, too. Some people will, like, try some pretty fancy stuff here. But again, just fall here, hold right, flutter, slide, jump on this, and then flutter. It's pretty simple. Nice, Genesis. Let's go. I'm doing a Wings of E walkthrough right now for the any% run. We have a tournament coming up for Wings of E. Starts this next Monday, so it's going to be pretty fun. Just trying to get people ready for it. Doing a little walkthrough. Okay, this part here. There's a lot of ways to do this. This is the way that I usually do it to get to this point. You can use a flutter if you're more comfortable with that. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, it's going to be on speed gaming. But that's just how I do it. It's not super tricky or precise. If you want to use flutters, if you want to slow it down a little bit, that's okay. Signups are not closed. You can go to... Frick. You can go there to sign up, if you would like. Also, if somebody wouldn't mind linking the Discord server for the tournament, that would be good too. Otherwise, I think it's on the challenge site. Okay. This section here, there's a couple ways to do it. I don't even know if I can do it the slow way anymore. You can use Flutter like that, which is probably the safest and easiest way for most people. Frick. But I like to do jump strats here. Man. Now I'm all distracted and not playing well. Like that. So either of those two strats I would recommend learning, whichever one, whatever one feels better for you. There's a strat you can use where you can walk and just hold right the entire time without any jumps or anything. But I don't really think it's worth learning that. It's pretty tricky. But feel free to prove me wrong if you'd like. Okay, this section here, I recommend you take Greed, because we have some fighting after this. Take the save. And I recommend for this first one, jump twice. Wait. No, that's this one. I recommend you do it just like that. That movement exactly. You shoot, wait, slide, jump, jump. Oops. Because the idea is there, you want to be falling as fast as you can while hugging this wall, so that when you shoot this and slide, you can do it before the spike comes up. Once you take care of those enemies, just keep going this way. It's on Mortal difficulty. Mortal is the average difficulty. Demon is the hardest. Okay, for this section here, there's a few ways to handle this. And again, I would just say it comes down to your comfort level and how much time you want to put into learning this next couple of screens. The way that I do it is, once again, you use the trick... Oh, frick. I messed it up. Lol. Just like that. You're going to use the trick once again, where you push the skeletons through the fog wall, which makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to fight things as much. If you're not comfortable with that strat, I can recommend you do this instead. And just use Lust to poke down one of the skeletons. And if even that is too intimidating, you can just kill the skeletons as you go. And I don't really have the best strat for this because I never do this. But if you're not comfortable with the walking the skeletons on a leash strat, just kill them, and it's a little bit slower, but it's consistent if that's what's better for you. So once again, for the fastest strat, you want to copy this movement almost exactly. It's pretty precise how it works. Oh yeah, the centaur. So the way the centaurs work is the centaurs, they see you on the screen. As soon as they spawn, they'll kind of like lock onto your target position, and that'll keep following you wherever you are. And when they're ready to jump, they'll jump to the last position where you were standing on the ground. So as long as you don't touch the ground here, he's aiming at me on the right side of the screen, which is why he just jumps off like that. The centaurs are one of the tankiest enemies in the game, so it really helps here to just have him jump off. If you mess up, and let's say you land right here or something, notice he's gonna jump to where V is. And then you have to fight him and kill him the normal way, which is an easy way to get killed yourself. Don't recommend it much. So again, easiest way to do this is just flutter, jump. Aw, man. See, I got stunned there. You want to not get hit, because that'll cancel your momentum. Ah, get wrecked. there we go. And that'll just get you to the end. Take that save. The skeletons will keep following you, by the way. Because this screen is actually at a different place in the same world built by the engine as the previous one was, if you go back through the door. So, if you go back through this door, you're not safe from the skeletons. They can lock onto you, and they'll come dashing at you from off-screen, and they'll just hit you and you can die. So as soon as you get on the screen, if the skeletons are still alive, dash to the save and take it. It'll kill the skeletons and get your HP back. Just a tip. Just go right there and do that. Okay. For the dogs, it's really, you can just tank them pretty much. Don't really need to do anything special there. Just get through them. You don't even have to fight them if you don't want to. If you just ignore them and dash, you can just make it to the save. It's kind of an easy save. There are ways to do it without getting hit too, if you just like hug the edges, because the dogs will sometimes turn around early and stuff, but